everything is perception. What is this place? So, you say something politically. Those filters don't go, right, deep breath, sit back, let's look at this, okay, yeah, well, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's logical, I can go with that. It doesn't work like that. That's what a free mind does. A free mind says, I'm going to look at the evidence and I'm going to decide with my own free mind and my own uniqueness what I make of that evidence. Belief systems are filters that won't do that, because if they do that, the belief system can't survive. So someone says something, maybe of the right as it's perceived, nonsense, and it may actually make total logical sense. But the filter of the, quote, left will not see the logical sense, because someone from another label system is saying something. So therefore, my filter tells me it must be wrong, it must have ill intent, it must be malevolent in some way. And someone of the left will say something and someone of the right will put their filter up and the same process will happen. There is no dialogue, there's no exchange of ideas, there's no humility in the sense of, I don't know it all and maybe someone else might have something worth hearing. No. My belief system, be it Democrat, Republican, Labor, Conservative, doesn't matter, is to be defended from all borders. How is that different from a bricks and mortar religion, as my father used to call them, that says, this is what you must believe to be one of us? Same with the Democrat, same with the Republican. What's the difference? There is no difference. A radical Muslim, a indoctrinated Muslim, won't hear any validity in what a Christian says. A similar person in the Christian religion won't hear what a Muslim says. And so society is compartmentalized. And it's compartmentalized. If you look at how society works, and then you look at the compartmentalized mind of an MK Ultra mind control victim, though they won't like that term, they are the same. And it's kind of interesting when I was observing the COVID lockdown years that I was seeing the same mind control techniques that I saw and researched long before in MK Ultra were being played out on the population. So the human society is an MK Ultra mind. And if you take it collectively, they're moving the altars around. So, for instance, the transgender altar now is the front altar of so much of society. In other times, it's this altar or that altar, but that's what we're looking at. So, this is where groupthink comes from. Groupthink, which says, I must be part of a group. I can't express my infinity and be my own unique expression of all that is, has been, and ever can be. I have to be part of a group. And if you can indoctrinate, infiltrate people with a sense of insecurity, which is what this whole game is so much about, then that sense of insecurity will seek security in numbers. You see, if you, and we come back to this same term, if you self-identify with being an expression of all that is, has been, and ever can be, having a brief human experience, your sense of security, your sense of self, comes from that self-identity. And all these things that go on in this world, you literally do, in frequency terms, rise above them, and you become an observer of them. You don't get pulled into them. You're, I see how it fits here. Yeah. And because your self-identity is an expression of the infinite, that's your security. That's your sense of being. What is there to be fearful about when we are an expression of consciousness on an eternal journey of experiencing forever, and this is just a brief little experience that we're having here? What is there to be insecure about? Something happens, all right, okay, well, something different will happen tomorrow. But if you don't have that, and the whole system wants you to self-identify with your label self, your limited self, your phantom self, so you don't identify with that. And the phantom self, in its sense of limitation, in its sense of I can't, in its sense of insecurity, it's looking for security in numbers. So it joins a group, joins a religion in all their various and infinite forms. And to be part of that religion, to be part of that group, to have that sense of security in numbers, you have to conform to the group and the rules and regulations of the group and the limitations of the group. And that is the trap that holds the great majority of people in servitude. What is awakening? What is awakening? There'll be people in the New Age who think because they self-identify with being spiritual in their group that they are awakening. And to an extent, maybe they are awakening more than people in other groups that are even more like myopic. But they are awakening. They are not awake. No one in this crazy, teeming madness of manipulated perception is awake. We're awakening. And when you look at these groups, they all have a uniform. You know, why does everyone need a uniform? Why? Show me a Muslim from 200 yards away, I'll tell you they're a Muslim. Show me a New Ager from 200 yards away, I'll tell you who's the New Ager. Tell me a transgender person, I'll tell you them. There's a uniform. There's a uniform that reflects their uniformity of belief and their uniformity of self-identity. The mavericks, the true mavericks, the mavericks that this system of control is terrified of, are those that refuse the uniform and they refuse the uniformity. And they have the self-respect not to conform to anything that is not their free choice. So, those that self-identify not with the labels of a human life, but with being an expression of infinite awareness, having a brief human experience, they're the ones that won't be told what to think. They won't be told what to do. They won't conform to a groupthink because, let's just take this angle for a second to show how ludicrous it all is. We can see, actually decode, a band of frequency that is so ridiculously narrow, it's pathetic. I don't think that's an accident either. According to mainstream science, the electromagnetic spectrum, which is pretty much the level that we experience of this reality, is 0.005% of what exists in the universe. Some say it's as high as 0.5%, but it's tiny. And visible light, which is the only frequency band that we can actually visually see, which we perceive seeing, is a fraction of the 0.005%. Now, what we're being asked to believe is that all you need to know and all you need to conform to understand what there is to know is between the covers of a single book. Be it the Bible, be it the Quran, doesn't matter. All these religious books. Between the covers of a single book within a fraction of 0.005% of what exists in the universe, are you having a laugh? That's the myopia that humanity is conceding its uniqueness to. That's what it's defending till its knuckles turn white against all borders. And if you were a few and you wanted to control the many, would you want the many to be, I am all that is, has been, and ever can be, or I am are? And so a system has been set up in the world, a cradle-to-grave system, whereby you exploit the population to mind control the population. You use the population to keep the population in line. And it's interesting that one of the phenomena that I came across in researching MKUltra and talking to people who'd been subjected to it is that one of the aspects of MKUltra was to mind control your targets to become mind controllers of other targets. So they were mind controlling, still are, people to go out in their white vans or whatever and take children off the street for the program. And they were programmed to become programmers. As I sit here and I talk, and I didn't know where this was going, I'm just talking. The parallels between MKUltra and human society are obvious and stunning, really. So, who are the people running the religions, orchestrating the religions, organizing the religions, seeking recruits to the religion, seeking to intimidate people to become conformist to the religion, be it climate change, be it transgender, be it Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, whatever? They're mind controllers. Oh, they're not mind controllers. No. I'm not even saying they're knowingly mind controlling. Some will be, but most won't. They just believe something and then seek to get other people to believe it. Why? If you believe it, believe it. And you are a right to your opinion. So you say, this is what I believe. But if you have self-respect and the respect for others to have their opinion as you have yours, why do you think it's okay to try to impose your belief on someone else? And if you look at human society, that's what's happening everywhere. You have these groupthink altar compartments, and they're seeking to impose their belief on everyone else. So today, it's reached a point where if you don't have the right opinion, you get silenced, you can lose your job, and you get vilified and demonized for no other reason than having the wrong opinion. And when you have these group compartments, and you have this mentality that says, my group compartment must be the dominant one, we must prevail, you must believe what we do, then you have the most perfect structure for divide and rule. Because you, the few, set your groups off against each other, and while they're fighting each other and seeking to dominate each other, they don't see that the strings you're holding connect to them and the people that they're fighting with.